So we've covered how to accompany with the left hand with the open position, the very open position, which includes all the three notes of your chords. For C chord is not just C, the root note, not just G, the fifth note, but also the third up here. So for some of you, it might be easier to put a 2, and for some of you, the recommended fingering is a 3 in the middle. And then we're going to do a chord progression, which means a whole bunch of chords, and the famous one is Pachelbel. We just transpose it to C, so it's easier for piano, all white keys. So write it down. If you don't have it, C, G, chord 5, chord 6, A minor, chord 3, E minor, chord F major, chord 4, and then back to 1. And then we end with 4 and 5, chord F and G. Again, C, G, A minor, down to E minor, up to F major, down to C major, and then F, and then G. So at the moment, I only do thumb and pinky in the left hand, the name of your chord. So you should practice that first before you start playing the open position, and then move it to these other chords. I'll call the chords before you do it. Those of you who know how to put pedals on, put pedals on. And we're going to give one more beat after. I'm going to play it in 4/4, okay? So here we go. C major, G major, down, A minor, E minor, one notch up F, down to C now, back to F, and then G. A few more times of that. C major, G major, one notch up A minor, E minor, one notch up F, down to C major again, and we end with chord 4 and 5, F and G, and again C major, G major, one notch up A minor, E minor down there, one notch up to F, down to C major again. How do we end? F and G, and G, right? Then of course, we should practice this with the open position in the left hand. So instead of just, you got, and then you stretch all the way up, not on C, but to the third of your chord, E. And we're going to do that first left hand, so you're getting used to it. C major, and then G major would be, and the thumb not on G, but 2 notes later on B. A minor would be not on A, but 2 keys later on C. E minor, same way, not E, but 2 keys later, G. So just look at your thumb and move it accordingly. Now F major, not F, but 2 keys later. C down there, same thing, not C, but stretch your thumb up 2 keys later. Back to F again, thumb not on F, but 2 keys later on A, and then G. Thumb not on G, but 2 keys later on B. So you're just aiming physically and visually, right? If you did practice your open position well, with the thumb always in the same keys as the pinky, then you now just stretch your thumb up by 2 keys. And here we go. C again. G. A. F. C. F, and G, we finish. Okay, now it might be too hard for some of you to just aim for the block chord, and if that's too hard, then just put your hand in the position where E is the starting point, and then for each of your chord, you're going to just step down. You change chord, you just step in the right hand. At the end there, you have to cross your 2 over to G and back up. So once you cross your index to G, the next chord you're going to back up to A, the next chord you're going to back up. So right hand's path is just stepping down, and back up once you have crossed the index over. And I'll call the name of your chord again. So left hand, if it's too difficult for you, then just do open position, right? So start with that practice first. Those of you who can, very open position. C major, thumb stretch up 2 keys to E. G major, thumb stretch up to B. A minor, thumb stretch up to C. E minor, thumb stretch up 2 keys later to G. F major, thumb stretch up to A. C, down there. Back to F and G to end up the song. Thumb to A. And G major, thumb to B. And that's the slow version. So stop the video and practice until you could possibly warm up the Pachelbel. Warm up with the Pachelbel. How beautiful is that? A minor, E minor, F major, lower C major, F and G to end, and G. Now, of course, if you want to play the full block chords in the right hand, you could do that too, which is what's written. Okay, so the crossover position is just to do octave, then crossover to the third of your chord. C major, this is the root of your chord, third of your chord, fifth of your chord. But we're going to do this in 4/4, so let me scroll up. And introduce you to the chord to the octave, because that would be what we are doing is the first bar there, the bar 6 only. So what is chord to the octave? It's the full C chord, and we double whatever's at the bottom up here. We're going to practice all our chords. I will name the chords again in the Pachelbel. So once you know the principle, it's 5, 4, 2, 1 for the left hand. For C major, here we go. C major. The next chord is G major. So you move your whole hand to G and go G, B, D, G. And then 1 notch up. A minor, A, C, E, A. E minor, down there, E, G, B, E. 1 notch up, F. It's F, A, C, F. Way down there, the C major, C, E, G, C. And back to F, F, A, C, F. And G major to end, G, B, D, G. Yes. So write down the name of your chords if you keep having problems memorizing the sequence of Pachelbel. C major, C, E, G, C. G major, G, B, D, G. A minor, A, C, E, A. E minor, E, G, B, E. F major, F, A, C, A. Lower C major, C, E, G, C. F again, F, A, C, A. And G major, G, B, D, G. That's called chord to the octave. So when you're practicing these, this is a paper for theory, so you kind of know that we could do something. But if you're not practicing it by moving your left hand, it's not going to serve you in real songs, because the real song will not stay in C major chord all the time, right? So this easiest sequence is, of course, the heart and soul first. That's the easiest sequence. It's C major, chord 6, A minor, chord 4, F major, and chord G, chord 5. And when you're familiar with warming up with, first we warmed up with open position, then we warmed up with very open position. And if you want to, you also warm up with crossover, but I would recommend you do the chord to the octave, just the bar 6. But then change chord. Take one of these ways to practice the left hand and then change chords. That way you're already practicing some technique into your left hand, finding the chords easily.